What's up? We're back. Thank you for coming back. Let's just chill together. Let's hang. Let's talk about last week. Let's go into some betting. You know, what we do. First of all, thank you for coming back, like I said. Secondly, we did go 3-1 with the overall picks last week. Props, not so much. Props were the other way around. Props, I believe, actually went. Well, one of them didn't even count because it got voided out, so we'll say it went 0-3 with the props. So maybe don't listen to me with the props. Do the opposite. You know, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. So week 6, so let's go over the picks themselves. Steelers under 23.5. Like I said, that was only at Bookmaker. Everywhere else had it at 21.5. But if you followed me, if you opened the Bookmaker account, you got it at the 23.5. We cashed that because it did hit at exactly 23. Value of getting the best number out there, guys. I can't stress that enough. The other books had it at 21.5, so you would have been screwed that way. Saints under 20.5, another Bookmaker pick. Another one that just barely squeezed in there. The Saints did get to 19, so I'll take the win. Another play there, just kind of following the charts. Seahawks money line was another one. Didn't look super easy if you're just looking at the scoreboard, but honestly, that game it was kind of hard to watch at certain points. It was not super fun. Jaguars they had some good plays. Brian Thomas made some good catches. Just not super entertaining for whatever reason. I just couldn't get into it. But the Seahawks seemed like they always had that game kind of in control. JSN with the nice long touchdown catch. Probably won some money in like DraftKings if anybody was playing Dynasty or daily with those guys. The only one that didn't cash that, of course, I wish would have, was the over 47. Had some injuries in the back of the Jaguars defense as well as the Seahawks defense. And, the backups get paid too. So they kept the game pretty well under. I want to say it ended at like 30 or something like that. I can't remember. But either way, under the total. So it didn't get our cash on that one, but we did get 3-1 with the rest of those picks. So let's go back to the well. We're going to keep doing what works. One thing that I am very big on, if you're new to the channel, is kind of self-scouting. Find out what you're doing well at. Right? What kind of picks can you succeed with? Where is your angle? Mine just happens to be team totals. For whatever reason, we don't see a lot of people playing these games. Usually, if you're looking at picks or listening to picks and stuff like that, they're pretty much just giving you sides. It's very rare that I even hear anybody talk about totals. And, I listen to quite a bit of content as far as just like betting or NFL or fantasy or whatever. And they almost always exclusively do sides. And that's fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally cool with that. Like, yes, I do play sides, obviously. But there's other plays out there, guys. And that's the thing, is if everyone is just playing sides, it's probably not the market for you to really get into unless you're going to get in it super early. And by early, I mean like today. Like no later than Tuesday, Wednesday. The limits are lower. But, I hear some people say like, oh, well, I can't get in that early. The limits are too low. Bullshit. I mean, most of these books, if you are playing like $500 a play, they're going to let you play that on a Monday or a Tuesday. Unless you're just some whale that's playing, like $100,000 a play and you suck at it, that's probably when they're going to not allow you to do that. But if you're playing $100,000 a play, you could probably afford to just get a picking service. So I don't want anybody coming at me with, I can't play it because it's Tuesday and my limits are too low. Bullshit. Just like, I'm very, very skeptical about that. As someone who plays like a decent amount in every individual play, I have never had that issue. I've had overall limits, but that's not like a day of the week type of deal. So, anyways, let's get into this week's picks. If you're already looking at the list here, a short list is really what I would like you to look at first. Broncos under the team total. Now, this is one I think it should kind of be flying under the radar a little bit because it's at 24.5 right now. Now, it is juiced. I will tell you that. A lot of places I'm already seeing it like at minus 120, minus 125. The Giants have only allowed 2 teams to go over their total, one of those teams being the Cowboys in that crazy shootout. The Giants, though, if you haven't noticed, whether it's in fantasy or just, NFL viewing, their defense is coming alive. And I have to say, I would believe most of that is because of Jackson Dart. Now that the offense can move the ball, now that the offense can kind of score, and they are forcing the hand of their opponent, the opponent can't just sit back and just run, or just play it super conservative and punt. They're having to actually do things. So the offense being good is definitely impacting the defense, and the defense that we were sold as far as having like Brian Burns and these strong, defensive line players, they're finally being able to kind of shine because they're able to, somewhat dictate the pace at least. So Broncos under is looking like a good one, not only because of that Giants trend, but also because the Broncos are coming back from a long flight. They didn't look great. They're kind of conservative, and I think that may be the game plan, at least to start off this game against the Giants. They don't want to put Bo Nix in a bad place. So Broncos under their team total at 24.5. Now, we'll tell you, you can jump on this one right now if you like, because it may be going down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of holds until we get a little bit further in the week. And I'm just kind of curious, because I think the sentiment out there is that the Giants defense is terrible. I'm kind of curious to see if this number goes up, so I'm waiting just a little bit longer before I pull the trigger on that. The next one, though, I am going to do this one as soon as possible. The Colts over their team total at 23.5. 5-1 to the over for their team total is the Colts. So they've only gone under their team total one time. Now the Chargers, and I think that's the reason that this number is so low this week, because usually the Colts team total is like 24.5, 27.5. So 23.5. The only thing I can see that would maybe cause this to be a little bit lower is because it's the Chargers. Now, the Chargers, if you didn't know, they have allowed 3 teams in a row now to go over their team total. The Chargers defense, which is great, they've started off really hot, has not looked as good these last 3 weeks just because of injuries, because the offense is kind of slowing down, and there is definitely a correlation to having a good offense and an offense that can score and move the ball and forcing the hand of your opponent into some bad situations. So they have not been as great at that. Now, the Colts offense obviously has been good. They've been putting up points. It's been consistent. Like I just said, they've gone over their team total 5 times, and now we get this really nice spot where the public sentiment is that the Chargers defense is still great, and the Colts should be able to come in here and smash this total over. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to win. The Chargers could definitely win this game. It could be like a 35-30 type of game, but give me the Colts over their team total. Now, before I go into the Titans here, I just want to make one more public pitch to you guys. I cannot stress this enough. You need to open a Bookmaker account. Just open the account. You don't need to fund it. It is absolutely free. I'm putting the link in the comment section below. I don't know what else I can do for you guys. All you got to do is click the link, click open account. It's going to walk you right through the process. It's a super quick thing. And as I've said before, you have to do this only to look at the lines that they are posting, because they are one of the sharpest books out there. You are going to see a gigantic difference between Bookmaker's lines and your other square book lines. And right now there is several things out there that I can point to. Some of them don't benefit Bookmaker, some of them do, but again, they are a leading indicator. They're going to tell you where the numbers are going before they go. So if you like certain plays and you're not really ready to pull the trigger yet, quick fix, you pop up Bookmaker, say, oh man, that's going to be up, they're over a point off of what this other book is at, and it's not going to go the direction that I'm hoping it goes, so let me grab it now. I just can't tell you enough. I'm going to tell you every single video, please sign up for this thing. It's going to help you out. It's going to save you money, if not make you money, by just opening the account. Again, you don't need to fund it. Just open it so you can see the lines. That being said, one thing that Bookmaker does have that I have not found anywhere else right now, at least this early in the week, is the Titans team total unders for the first quarter and the first half. The team total for the entire game is posted a lot of other places, and honestly, the team total for the whole game is 18.5 at a lot of the square books. It is at 16.5 at Bookmaker. So perfect example. We are expecting that number to go down, and probably down pretty quickly from 18.5 down to 16.5. So if you want the under 18.5, and I do, you want to grab that out there at whatever square book you're using. But as far as the first half and the first quarter, there's really not a lot of other options right now. Bookmaker is the only one that is even offering the play. And let me just show you where it's at here. So on Bookmaker, if you're looking at the team totals for the first half, Titans under 7.5. It is juiced already at the -130. Definitely like that. And the first quarter is juiced to minus or under 1.5. What is the 1.5 telling us? Well, it's telling us that they're almost more likely to score a safety than a field goal in that first quarter. Now, why are these numbers so low and why do I like them? Mainly because they just fired their coach. And anytime you see a team that has fired their coach, fired their offensive coordinator, making these big changes going into a week, for sure their first quarter, typically the first half, they are going to be a slow starting team. It takes them a second. Whoever the new play caller is, whoever the new coach is, they have to adjust. They're going to start putting in their own game plans. They're going to be at least somewhat conservative starting it. It's just the trend that we see over and over and over again. Now, typically, the full game may not be a play because, second half, it's kind of dictated by what's going on in the game. You can't always guarantee that it's going to be a low-scoring game. However, in this case, they are playing the Patriots. The Patriots are 5-1 at keeping teams under their total. They have only allowed one team total over, and that was to the Dolphins in week 2. Now, we'll tell you, on top of that, the Patriots are also playing their third straight away game. What does that mean? That means that typically that team that is playing their third straight away game does not cover the spread. Now, in saying that, this is kind of a weird situation only because the Patriots, their second and third away game are going to be against the Titans this week and the Saints last week, two of the bottom feeding teams in the NFL. So I wouldn't follow that trend. I'm not saying the Titans are going to cover the spread here, but what I am saying is I would expect a lower scoring outcome overall in this game because the Patriots are in this third straight away game. It's probably going to start to show at some point, whether it's just kind of a slower offense or maybe the defense takes, has to kind of carry more of the weight a little bit. But either way, give me the under in all three of these aspects for the Titans. Definitely get the 18.5 for the full game over. And then again, go to Bookmaker, get that first quarter, get that first half. Everything here is pointing us to a low scoring game and specifically low for the Titans. Now, next here is the Texans Seahawks game. This is one that I am focusing on. I'm going to Seahawks -3, quick and easy, just to let you know. Texans coming off a bye week. Typically, we see teams coming off the bye week start a little slow, a little sluggish. Takes them a second to really get going. Secondly, though, the Texans are 3-2 to the team total under. They have been just kind of an under team. They have a really weak offensive line. I expect that they made some change over the bye week, but they have not added any personnel, and that's really the issue. The two overs that they have this week, or that have had this season, come against the Ravens, who are playing with like their 4th and 5th string backup defense players, and then the Titans, who just have not been a very great defense in general. They have allowed, I believe, 5 out of the 6 games to go over on the team totals. The Seahawks have only allowed 1. In week 5, when they played the Buccaneers and they allowed 38 points, the Texans offense is not the Buccaneers offense. I can promise you that. The Seahawks are going to play better defense than almost any other team the Texans have played this year, aside from maybe the Rams. That Seahawks defense is going to put pressure on Stroud. They are going to lock down a lot of the run game. They're going to take advantage of that poor offensive line. And the Texans are just, it's not in their wheelhouse to really be these aggressive offensive players, or play callers, I should say. In this case, again, I really strongly feel that everything is pointing us towards the under on the Texans team total. And at the same by the same reasoning, that would also lead us to the Seahawks -3. Now, I will tell you the Seahawks -3, you're going to want to jump on that soon because Bookmaker already has that at 3.5, and it is getting juiced up. And so the other square books are going to start following. That's going to be at 3.5 soon if it's not already there by the time you're watching this. Lastly, as far as what we do want to get our money on is the Lions -4.5 versus the Bucks. This is another one where it's kind of an emergency. You want to get on there as soon as you can. The Lions have already moved up to -5 in a lot of square books. Now, the Lions are coming off a loss. We do not typically see the Lions lose back-to-back games. The Lions are at home and they are playing before their bye week. Usually we see really good production from teams just before their bye week. These the two exceptions this year were the Bills and the Ravens, who are on bye week this week. The Ravens, we know their offense is just completely a mess without Lamar. The Bills just did not look right. They haven't looked right for the last 2 weeks, so that could be an outlier as well. But again, typically we see teams have a really good performance leading into their bye week. I expect that from the Lions, especially off a loss. The Buccaneers are very, very banged up, as you already know. Half the team, especially half the offense, is just, they should be on the IR. Like, Bucky's going to miss his 3rd game. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up missing the 4th before their bye week. And we just have a plethora of other guys that are missing. time, or they're banged up, or they're not playing full snaps. Just a lot of issues with that Buccaneers team as far as health is concerned. Now, Baker has been able to just kind of like will his way to wins in this one, but they have a lot of one-score wins in this game, or in this season. And I will show you here, Buccaneers have 4 wins by one-score wins, I should say. They have 5 total wins. 80% of their wins have come by one score. Not a good metric if you're trying to be consistent, because it's hard to continually have the ball move your way, just kind of fall in your direction. And a lot of times that's what these one score games end up being, right? Like, hey, the fumble happened this way, the interception happened that way, bad sack, bad penalty, whatever it is, and you can't expect those things to continue going your way, especially when you are playing a team like the Lions, who are coming off a loss, who are a very, very good team and an expected contender for at least a deep run in the playoffs at this point. So those are the picks, guys. Appreciate you staying tuned to this. Thank you for coming back. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff in the comments here. I will leave the Bookmaker link yet again. Go sign up, do yourself a favor, save the money, get in front of your picks. I'll see y'all next time.